Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today we'll be making a very special stew recipe called Ofeakwu. This stew is popular among the Igbo people of Nigeria. It is usually made from palm fruit extract and it is very rich and usually paired with boiled rice. Keep watching to know how I achieved this delicious stew, and do subscribe to my channel as well. So for this stew, we'll be using fresh palm fruit. This is called Akwu by Igbo, or popularly called Banga by Nigerians. Then for our protein, we'll be using beef. We'll also be using smoked mackerel and stockfish. If you have other fishes, you can add it as well. Stockfish gives it this distinct flavor. Then I'll be using a lot of onions, prawns, and then crayfish. Then I'll also be using some red and green scotch bonnets. The yellow ones are always better, sha. Then I have some salt. Then my Banga seasoning, my Ofeakwu seasoning, I'll be using Ehuru. This adds a lot of flavor. This is how it looks like. I'll also be using Okpeyi, and then I'll be using Ulima. This is not uziza, it is called Ulima. It is shinier than uziza. I'll also be using this fruit called control onions. That's just once you go to the market where they sell pepper soup spice, ask them for control onions. Then I have my seasoning cubes and then vegetables, that's scent leaf. I'll pour my already washed apple to a pot and then top it up with some water, cover it and boil it. We'll be cooking this till it's well cooked. Then I will add my already washed stockfish to a pot, add my beef, and then add my seasoning cubes, and I'll also be adding some salt, and then my onions, pepper. I've already blended that. I'll also be adding that. I'll cover that and allow it to steam on low heat. So once our apple has boiled properly, I'll drain that out and go ahead now to pound it. This will help us extract the palm fruit pulp. That's the extract that we're going to be using for this stew. So I'll be pounding that as it is still very hot. You need to pound it now that it's hot so the flesh can come off easily. So you can also use your hands if you can withstand the hotness of the apple, but I prefer using a mortar and pestle. So I'll be pounding mine in batches since I have a very small mortar. So once I'm done and the flesh have already started coming out, I'll scoop that out and then add the second batch of apple. I'll go ahead to also pound that till the flesh has come off. So once I've achieved that, I'll go ahead and check my meat and then top it up with some more water so that it can cook properly. So to extract my palm fruit, I'll be using warm water. This water is not too hot, just warm enough for it not to burn my fingers. So I'll be using my fingers now to try to squeeze out the palm fruit pulp from the flesh. So that's just what I'm doing now with my hands. I'll keep doing that till I feel like I've gotten enough pulp from it. So I'll go ahead now to squeeze out the flesh with the palm kernel itself from the bowl. So I'll just squeeze it out with my hands and then take it out. I'll continue repeating this process till I've exhausted all the flesh and palm kernel in this bowl. Once I'm done, I'll strain out the palm fruit extract with a sieve. This is to remove the extra flesh that my fingers might not have squeezed out. So that's just it. I'll strain it out and then I'll go ahead to use more warm water to try and squeeze out some more pulp from this from the flesh I took out earlier. This is just a confirmatory squeezing. So I'll just do that and try as much as possible to squeeze everything out, because this is what we'll be using for this stew. So once I'm done, I will take it out and squeeze it out properly. Notice that this water, like this extract now, is not as thick as the first one. Yeah, so that's just how I know that I've squeezed out enough pulp from this particular palm fruit. So that's just that. I'll go ahead to also strain this extract with a sieve to prevent pancanel or the flesh from entering into my palm fruit extract. So I'll just squeeze out everything. So we'll be making the stew with this extract. I'll be discarding my palm kernel and the chaff and then cover the pot and place it on fire. So the next is to toast my Ofeakwu spices. I added that to a pot, placed it on fire, and I'll be toasting that. This will make it more flavorful and fragrant. Then I'll go ahead now to pound it. The toasting also makes it easier to pound. You can also use a spice grinder if you have one. So I'll be pounding that and grinding it into a smooth powder. That is just what I'm trying to achieve now. I'll check back on our pot of akwu, and once it has started boiling, I'll open up the pot and allow it to cook till it goes down, like the water content reduces. We don't want to cover the pot, else the akwu will overboil. And then once the water has dried up and the oil has started floating to the top, just like this, then our akwu is ready for us to add the other ingredients. So first I'll be adding the meat stock and then the meat and the fish. So I'll stir that in, and then I'll cover the pot and allow it to boil. So once it has started boiling, I'll go ahead and add the rest of my spices, the onions and the peppers, the crayfish powder, and also the Ofeakwu spice that we made earlier. Then I'll add everything in, stir it in thoroughly, and then add my seasoning cubes and also some salt. I'll stir it in, cover the pot and allow it to cook, so the seasoning and the spices will get into the Ofeakwu. So once it has started boiling properly, now so poto, we'll go ahead now to add our veggies, that's the scent leaf, stir everything in, and then our Ofeakwu is ready. So this is it, delicious as always. I'll be eating it with hot boiled rice. So this is just what your body needs on the rainy Sunday morning. So we'll be having this with a chilled glass of grape wine. So that's just that. Then I'll go ahead and do a taste test for you guys, so you see how delicious it is. So this is just it, and this is really good. Like, it is very delicious. I hope you enjoyed this video, and you go ahead to give it a thumbs up, share this video with your friends and your family. See you guys in my next one. Bye.